Okay, this is video diary number 2 for the Alfasud Sprint, and as you can see, I've pulled it out and I've been busy. Look at that lot. Anyway, I took the engine out after trying to start it. It did kind of fire, but I couldn't get any petrol through, so I thought I'm not going to bother with this. I popped a bit of petrol, squirted some petrol in the carburetors and just made sure that it did fire. I thought I'm not going to run it because it's coming out. So anyway, the engine is out and basically all the ancillaries are off. I've been cleaning them up as I go. The block is... let's just take these off. Oops. There's the main block. As you see, it's a flat 4 and I've yet to take the heads off. The reason I'm doing this is because I remember before that it did actually smoke a bit, and I think the reason was, I thought at the time it was valve guides or valve stem oil seals, but I'm going to strip the engine down and check the rings as well, check the bores, and clean it all up, paint it, put it back together and make sure it's all pucker, because you know, I've got into it now. I've really got into this, so I'm going to do all the mechanical components before I do anything further to the body. Going around the other side of the car, they're the original doors. One of them semi-stripped down, which I did a long time ago. The other one isn't stripped at all. I've got 2 new door shells complete, with quite a lot of bits and pieces. They're in a different shed. I've got them stored. They will be coming out, but I'm going to transfer the contents from these doors to the new ones because these are a little bit rusty and the other ones aren't. There's some of the welding I did before. This is a wheel arch repair section. I think you can still get these. In actual fact, that's 2 wheel arch repair sections because I used 2 outers to make an inner and an outer. So I welded one in place, then the other, and I just dotted the welding around using a MIG. Sort of early days of me learned to weld. So anyway, the other side I've done, that was a bit more laborious because I repaired the inner wing, and that's why it was such a lot of work. I decided to use 2 outers for the next one, but I welded that in, filled it, shaped it, and you know, that's not come out too bad. They were rusty before, it was all fillet before. There is still some welding still to do. There's a little bit inside the wheel arch which you can't see. I'm going to take the petrol tank out for that. There's also a little bit here, just bits and pieces. The tailgate, I've got a replacement one. This one is rusty, but this is reusable actually, so I'm going to probably put that on eBay. But I've got a tailgate which is much better condition than this. It just needs to be repainted. The interior, it's kind of stripped out so I could get to things, and you know, one of the problems with doing a car like this is when you take everything out, it takes up so much space. But so I've determined to get this done fairly quickly. I don't want to spend ages on it, you know, famous last words, but I'd like it to be done now. But I know it's not going to be. But I thought, well, let's sort the engine out, and then I'll be much encouraged to get on with it. The gearbox was good, and it's got the inboard discs. I've got new discs for this somewhere. I've got some Brembo slotted discs, and I did actually buy quite a lot of bits and pieces for it, so this could end up looking a really nice car. I wouldn't mind it looking like this one, but someone's done some extensive modifications to that, but I put that on the garage wall for a bit of inspiration. That was done by, I was out in Czech Republic somewhere, I think, judging by the photographer's moniker, is .cz on it. But I like that, and you know, that's not a million miles away from mine. Mine could look like that, but I think I'm going to keep it more standard. I'm not entirely sure yet, but play it by ear. Let's get the mechanicals done first. So I don't intend to modify it. I'm going to keep it as a 1350. The point is to make the best of what I've got, not to modify it. If I want a faster car, you know, just go out and buy a faster one. Also, I don't want the engine to overwhelm the chassis, because these got great handling on these cars, but if you put too powerful an engine in it, they start to lose, you start torque steering all over the place, and part of the delight with them is that they were light and nimble with great handling and a free revving engine that was, you know, not too big in size. So anyway, some of the other welding I did, you can't see it, but it's behind these. It's the A posts on both sides were quite bad, but I managed to get them back. I managed to save them by cutting out the rusty metal and letting in some new. The windscreen wipers were just holes of rust. Again, I cut out. You can't see it because underneath this sort of filler I slapped on, but I cut it out and let in some, you know, made up some new bits and then let them in, welded them into place, and it's quite satisfying to do because, you know, you just can't do that kind of stuff with filler and glass fibre. But you cut out the rusty bit, make a repair section up out of steel, which is not that hard, and then carefully weld it in, tapping it to shape. You start to get quite good at it, and you know, I've done lots of small repairs. They tend to go in odd places. There was a bit of welding that I had to do on the roof, which is now done and filled, and so on. So, but underneath, this car is not rusty at all. Its chassis and the floors and everything are really strong, really original and solid, and that's what made me think it was worth doing. Because I think if they'd been really rotted out as well and the seals had gone, I think I would have thrown it away. But it's mostly superficial, not terribly structural. Most of the welding that's got to be done still. There's a little bit on underneath the battery as well. Underneath the battery tray, there's a little hole there, which is, I should just cut that out and let a new bit in. And I'm going to take the fuel tank out and, you know, repair the bit behind that. I don't think it's going to take much to get the welding done. I think most of the work will be in reassembling the bits and pieces and painting it. But at the minute this is a bit of a low point because the engine's stripped and a lot of very dirty parts on the floor. I cleaned some of them. The carburetor's off and I don't know, lots of things need stripping and painting, and it's a bit. At the minute, this is looking a little bit like the Marie Celeste. Like I just got up and left, but I was so tired. When I got to this stage, I thought, right, I'm knocking it on the head now, and I'm going to leave it for today. And I'm not working on it today. I'm just going to make this little film. So there we are. I hope you find this interesting. I think I'm going on a bit, but anyway, I'll see how it plays back, and if I like it, I'll put it on YouTube.